Welcome to episode 13, Basics and Beyond, the podcast. I just have to ask, how often do you give up on yourself? How often do you just go, oh my God, I just can't? And you just kind of throw everything out the window for maybe it's an hour, maybe it's more, a week, a month. Today we're going to talk about the concept or the umbrella concept of giving up on yourself. And we're going to dig into what it looks like to do that and why we need to stop doing that. Welcome. Come on in and join us. Welcome to Basics and Beyond, the podcast. It is episode 13. It's going to be a good one. I am super excited to talk to you today on a topic that comes up quite a bit. It comes up quite a bit. And it comes up in a variety of ways. So it's just this big, giant concept that I'm going to try to narrow down a little bit for you today and really focus in on a few things. But it really is the concept of giving up on ourselves. And why we do that? I don't know, man, it's tough. I've heard a lot of people, we use a lot of different words to describe when we give up on ourselves without just saying I'm giving up on myself, because words are important, right? The words that we use are important. In fact, earlier last week, I saw something or read something or whatever, said the words that we use shape our world. So the words that you use shape your world. They are important. They change how you think about things, right? So I use this example, we can exchange the concept, right? We can exchange the concept of feeling anxious, because that has kind of a negative connotation, with the concept of being excited, which has a positive connotation. And the reason that those are interchangeable is because the way our physiology works and the way our brain works, physically, scientifically, those feelings are exactly the same in our body. Those feelings are exactly the same in our body. The attributes that we give to them, the positive or the negative, make them different. And how we designate whether it's negative or positive is we give it a word that has the meaning we want those feelings to have. So if I have certain feelings in my body about something, maybe I have to speak in front of 300-400 people. Someone might say, how are you feeling about it? And like right before, and I might say, oh, I'm really anxious. I'm really anxious about it. I'm not really sure. Or those same feelings, if I decide to put a positive spin on it and I'm thinking positively about the experience and I know I'm going to do great and I've talked myself through it and everything, I'm going to say, I'm excited. I'm excited. The difference is the words that I attribute to it. But really, if we dig a little deeper, what we're talking about is the difference is not just the word, it's how I'm perceiving that this is going to feel or going to be. It's my perception that I give the feeling and the word to that situation. So when we're talking about being healthier, and that's a huge topic, people, here's the deal. You get one vehicle. That's it. See this body? You get one vehicle to motor around the planet, to live your life, to have all the experiences you can handle on this planet. You get one. And I'll tell you what, from almost the day that you're born, you're on your way to dying. That's just how it is. You get to decide the experiences as you go along. You get to decide, you make the choices about how that life is going to look, feel, and be, and how that life is going to travel over time. You get to decide what that body, that vehicle, you really have a lot of choices in that decision about how you're going to live, how well you're going to live, how you're going to feel while you live, and how long you're going to live. because we do have some control over that. Absolutely. So that should be, your health should be a huge priority, if not the priority. Honest to God, it should be the priority, because everything you do in life is directly impacted by your health. It's directly impacted by your health and well-being. That's physical health. Your mental health is impacted by your physical health. Your physical health is impacted by your mental health. So why wouldn't you make that a priority? Why wouldn't you make your health and wellness a priority? Because it's hard. Because it's hard work. Absolutely, it is hard work. And you should do the hard work, because you get to choose your hard. I'm sure you've heard that cliche, choose your hard. Choose your hard. It's a lot easier to drink your water each day, eat your protein, get your movement in, go for your walks, do some strength training. It's a lot easier to do that than to have zero control when you're in the hospital and your body is not working for you anymore, right? You have no control when you have to lay in that bed and you have to rely on other people to take care of you and make you feel better and try to make you stay alive. That's not a great place to be. Choose your hard. And in that vein, really the reason that I wanted to come and talk to you about this today is because your health and wellness is not something for you to give up on. It's not something for you to get tired of. It's not something for you to say, oh, I'll do that later, or I'll do that tomorrow. It's not something for you to say, I'm tired of it. I'm burnt out. I'm just burnt out. I get that. Believe me, I get some days you just want to not, right? And that kind of goes for everything. Some days you just don't want to, like you call in sick to work, right? Because you just don't want to. And some days, maybe, for parents out there, maybe you're like, to drop the kids off at grandma's because I just can't today, or for a few hours, right? And it's a few hours. That's not being burnt out, right? That's not using that term to completely give up on everything. That's not a month of whatever it is, right? That's not a week of whatever your quote burnt out on. That's not how that is, right? You get tired, you're like, oh, I'm tired. I'm just tired of doing this right now. Okay. Every other aspect of life, you get to be tired for like a day. And then you got to go back to work unless you're really sick. That's different, right? And that's different than being tired, just tired of it. When it comes to your health and wellness, the reason it's so hard is because it's about you. It's about you and you taking care of you making yourself a priority. That's why it's so hard. That's why it's so hard. It's so much easier to do what anybody else tells you to do when it comes and helping other people and doing for other people and putting other people first. That's so much easier. The reason it's hard is because you have to rely on you making choices for you that are good for you. You have to put off the ice cream sometimes. You have to put off the drinking most times. Got to be honest with you. Give that up. You have to put discomfort ahead of comfort sometimes, which means get off the damn couch and go for a walk, even if you don't want to. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're going to make it'll feel good. The reason that it is so difficult to make yourself a focus is because then you have to focus on yourself. Let me say that again. The reason that it's so difficult for you to make yourself a focus is because then you have to focus on yourself. And that, my friends, is difficult. Holding up that mirror in front of you and asking yourself the tough questions. Why am I not doing this? Why am I doing this? Why did I not track my food yesterday when I'm trying to lose 50 pounds or 30 pounds or, oh my God, the last 10 pounds. Everyone thinks the last 10 pounds, you don't have to do as much. Oh, geez, I tell you, I'm here to tell you. It's harder because you have to track more. But why didn't you get up this morning? Like you have to hold that mirror up. Why didn't I get up when the alarm went off this morning and take care of my business for myself? Why didn't I get up and put myself first? Why didn't I eat my good breakfast instead of stopping at the convenience store and grabbing a bar and a coffee with a whole bunch of creamer in it? Why didn't I make sure that there was healthy food in the house for me, not for anybody else, for me? Why didn't I go to bed when I was tired instead of staying up late with someone else? Why didn't I do that? Because those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Like, being healthy isn't just the actions that you take. Being healthy is holding up that mirror in front of you and really being honest with who you are and holding yourself accountable to walking the walk of the talk that you talk, and then changing and reframing how you deal with yourself. Because when you hold up that mirror and you ask yourself those questions, that's when you know you're truly loving yourself. And we know that because what we know about every relationship we're in, we know that we love that person because we care about them. How do we know we care about them? Because we ask them the tough questions. We hold them accountable. We love on them when they need it. We accept them. We push them. We understand. We listen. We pay attention. And most of all, we don't let them get away with crap. If you really love someone, you're going to interact with them on those levels. And if you don't, and if you're kind of just, we're kind of friends, whatever, you're going to let them get away with stuff because it doesn't matter. You're not going to have those arguments. You're not going to have, you know how they always say, in a good marriage, you got to argue, right? Because that shows that you care. It's true. When was the last time you argued with yourself? When was the last time you held yourself accountable? When was the last time you held up that mirror in a really tough time? When you didn't want to, when you didn't want to do X, Y, and Z, when you didn't want to go work out, when you didn't want to go for your walk, when you didn't want to whatever it was, and it lasted for a week or 2 weeks. When was the last time you held up that mirror to yourself and had that tough conversation about why? Why aren't you making yourself a priority? Why are you using the excuse of, I'm tired. I just don't wanna. I'm burnt out. That's the tough part. That's why making yourself a priority is so hard, because then you have to focus on yourself. And focusing on yourself means you have to ask yourself the tough questions. And you have to answer the tough questions. Don't just ask it. Sit in it and answer the questions. Find the reasons, because that's the only way you're going to make progress. That's the only way you're going to overcome all of those things, because I know every one of you is not giving up on everything in life. Every one of you is not burnt out on everything. Every one of you is giving to other people. You're available to other people. You are using your energy for every one of them. And you're lacking on loving yourself enough to do what you need to do. And I am not a crazy person. I am not one of those people that's like, oh my God, you have to track everything every single day, all the things. No. However, if you are unhealthy, if you are overweight, if you are struggling with blood sugar levels, if you're struggling with cholesterol levels, if you're struggling with joint pain, if you're struggling with gut health issues, then yes, you do have to do those things, because it doesn't take much. When you're physiologically in that position, it doesn't take long for choices that aren't going to move you forward to move you backward. It's true. It doesn't take long. Now, if you do the work and you hold the mirror up and you ask the good questions and you hold yourself accountable and you answer those questions and you find out why, and you love yourself enough, you're going to be in a better spot physically. You're going to be in a better spot mentally, so that you're going to drop the weight. Your glucose, your blood sugar, your insulin is going to be in a good spot. Your cholesterol is going to be a good spot. You will be in a good spot. And then you have much more bandwidth mentally and physically to be able to make choices occasionally, right? More often, that aren't necessarily so rigid. You don't have to be so rigid. You don't have to track everything then. But on the journey to get there, you do. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to be consistent. You have to hold yourself to the same loving relationship that you hold other people to. You have to love yourself just like you would love everyone else. So start there today. Think about that. I always tell my clients, like, awareness is the biggest piece. First, you have to think about it. But ultimately, it comes down to loving yourself. And I can tell you, there are some days, I mean, as a coach, I know there are days that I love my clients more than they love themselves. I know it. I know there are days that I love other people in my life who are my clients. I love them more than they love themselves. And I know there are days that they love me more than I love myself. And that's when I reach out. And that's when I ask for help. And it might not sound like I'm asking for help, but I am. Because just by reaching out, I'm letting them know, today's a tough day. I'm not loving myself enough. It's not about perfection. It's about progress toward the ultimate of loving yourself enough to put yourself first and do the things that you need to do, even when you're not feeling like it. So hold up that mirror, ask yourself the questions, get yourself some answers out of yourself. And if you want to, reach out to me, because guess what? I do the hard work every day. I do. And I fall down just like everybody else, but I am here for you. That's why I do this. I'm here for you. So if you need help or you have questions, reach out. You can reach out. You can comment below. You can direct message me. You can go to my website. There's plenty of ways to get a hold of me. Really, come on. Lots of ways to get a hold of me. I'll help. I do free consults. I love to talk. So reach out. Think about that for your day to day. How are you going to love yourself today? How are you going to love yourself? How are you going to build that relationship with yourself so that you can move towards your goals? You can be healthier. You can feel good. You know what? You get one time around. One time. That's it. One time. Unless, you believe in reincarnation. But still, you only get one time around in this vehicle that you're in right now, in this body, in this mind, in this personality, in this soul. One time. One time. How are you going to make that the best time? How are you going to optimize your time? How are you going to love yourself better? Honestly, those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Hey, if you love the podcast, please subscribe. Please hit like. Please share with other people. I love coming and talking to you. I would do this whether people saw me or not, but I do my hair just for you. I got to be honest. Have a wonderful day. And we'll see you on the next installment of Basics and Beyond, the podcast.